Howdy, howdy, and welcome to another Trash Take. This is me watching Donald Trump's reaction live and the announcement of what's causing autism in America. So it's going to kind of jump in with Trump talking, and I talk a little bit over before I start pausing to talk. But I wanted to hear what Trump had to say first, and I really wanted to see this live. I saw some videos about it maybe being Tylenol, but I was also seeing some other information online, so I want to see what Trump has to say. So without further ado, let's figure out what's causing autism in America.
Strides. Wish it was done a long time ago. Today, we're delighted to be joined by America's top medical and public health professionals as we announce historic steps to confront the crisis of autism. Horrible, horrible crisis. I want to thank the man who brought this issue to the forefront of American politics along with me.
Right there next to you.
And we actually met in my office, is it like 20 years ago, Bobby?
Jesus.
Probably 20 years ago in New York. I was a developer, as you probably heard, and I always had very strong feelings about autism and how it happened and where it came from.
I just could feel the TISM.
And he and I don't know, the word got out, and I wouldn't say that people were very understanding of where we were, but it's turning out that we understood a lot more than a lot of people who studied it.
Naturally intelligent, yeah, clearly.
And I say we think because I don't think they were really letting the public know what they knew.
Well, probably
Thanks
being paid.
as well to the director of the National Institute of Health, Dr. Jay Bhattacharya, FDA Commissioner, Dr. Marty McCary. These are great people. Administrator of the Centers for Medicine and Medicaid Services, Dr. Mehmet Oz.
Everyone's getting their
and Acting Assistant Secretary of HHS, Dr. Dorothy Fink. So thank you all.
It's a big announcement.
Thank you very much. The meteoric rise in autism is among the most alarming public health developments in history.
I wonder if he's going to say Tylenol.
Like this. Just a
few
decades ago, 1 in 10,000 children had autism.
That's absurd.
Not a long time. And
that's a small number.
I've always heard, they said
extremely small.
Few, but I think it's a lot less time than that. It used to be 1 in 20,000, then 1 in 10,000, and I would say that's probably 18 years ago. And now it's 1 in 31, but in some areas it's much worse than that.
1 in 31.
1 in 31. And I gave numbers yesterday.
And I do believe it's worse.
1 in 12. I was told that's in California where they have for some reason, a more severe problem.
It's the California water.
But whether it's 1 in 12 or 1 in 31, can you imagine? That's down from 1 in 20,000, then 1 in 10,000. And now we're at the level of 1 in 12 in some cases.
Yeah, it's over 100x, over 1,000x.
31 overall. So since 2000, autism rates have surged by much more than 400%. Instead of attacking those who ask questions, everyone should be grateful for those who are trying to get the answers to this complex situation.
Yeah, people don't trust
the first day, all
health
of
anymore.
These great doctors behind me were there. I told them this is what we have to find out, because when
you could thank Joe Biden for people losing faith in the medical system due to the COVID vaccine and how much misinformation came out with that, and how much the medical pharmaceutical companies were basically getting kickbacks and trying to get the government to force it through so then they could make even more money off it, which they did. There was a lot of trust lost in the science community because it went from let's make sure this is right to just trust the science, don't ask any questions. Do you have a medical degree? I don't want to hear you speak unless you have a medical degree. It's like common sense shit, like the masks don't work. You don't need a medical degree to know the 6 feet apart and the masks aren't going to fucking work for this. When they say the size of what the particulates were versus what the mask actually could cover, it was a pretty big alarming fact, but you still got basically banned on social media for questioning the narrative by the government. Joe Biden's agency, Joe Biden's presidency was issuing bans. They were telling Twitter accounts, they were telling Facebook, censor people who disagree. And Twitter and Facebook were wholeheartedly doing it.
You go from 20,000 to 10,000, and then you go to 12. There's something artificial. They're taking something.
Something's happening.
And by the way, I think I can say that there are certain groups of people that don't take vaccines and don't take any pills that have no autism.
I disagree, and I keep seeing the Amish as an example. You're telling me the people who could build an entire barn in a single day aren't autistic? They sound autistic as shit. The dude they had on Theo Von's show seemed autistic as shit. I'm not quite sure they're testing for it, but brother, they still seem autistic.
That have no autism. Does that tell you something? That's currently, is that a correct statement, by the way?
There are some studies that suggest
RFK saying no.
The Amish, yeah, virtually. I hear no.
He said the
I
Amish.
heard none. See, Bobby wants to be very careful with what he says, and he should.
Okay, they're not autistic, they're just weird.
But I'm not so careful with what I say.
Bobby, people have discredited him like crazy, but he's probably the only person fighting for American health on any side right now.
But you have certain groups, the Amish as an example, they have essentially no autism. First, effective immediately, the FDA will be notifying physicians that the use of well, let's see how we say that. Acetaminophen.
Acetaminophen.
Is that okay?
Tylenol.
Which is basically commonly known as Tylenol.
He said the T word.
Pregnancy can be associated with a very increased risk of autism.
Damn.
So taking Tylenol is
While
not
pregnant.
good.
While pregnant.
All right, I'll say it. It's not good.
While pregnant. Right?
For this reason,
Can I be
they
more
are
autistic?
strongly recommending that women limit Tylenol use during pregnancy unless medically necessary.
Okay.
That's, for instance, in cases of extremely high fever that you feel you can't tough it.
So you can't use ibuprofen or Advil because apparently they cause miscarriages. So everyone's been using Tylenol when women are sick or in pain. That's what they've been using. And they're trying to say that there's a correlation between that and the autism. But I've also seen counter arguments on Twitter of people saying, well, high fever also can lead to neurological damage among children. So it's a false positive, essentially, that it's not the Tylenol causing it. It's the mothers getting sick and the fever itself causing the brain damage. And they're associating it with Tylenol. But let's see if Trump actually has more data or RFK has data.
It out, you can't do it. I guess there's that. It's a small number of cases, I think. But if you can't tough it out, if you can't do it, that's what you're going to have to do. You'll take a Tylenol, but it'll be very sparingly. It can be...
yes. So the study that the CDC had that I've seen on Twitter, assuming it's the same one, showed an increase in Tylenol was a direct correlation and an increase in autism in the children. It was like 1-to-1, which is kind of fucking crazy, which makes me think it's fake because I know statistics. If you have like a 1-to-1, that's a pretty big red flag and probably a coincidental thing, but let's see if they talk about it here, if they show different charts.
Something that's very dangerous to the woman's health. In other words, a fever that's very, very dangerous and ideally a doctor's decision, because I think you shouldn't take it. And you shouldn't take it during the entire pregnancy. They may tell you that toward the end of the pregnancy, you shouldn't take it during the entire. And you shouldn't give the child the Tylenol every time he's born and he goes.
Actually, yeah, that's what they give kids when they're sick is baby Tylenol. It's a special type of Tylenol, too. That's crazy.
Has a shot. You shouldn't give a Tylenol to that child. All pregnant women should talk to their doctors for more information about limiting the use of this medication while pregnant. So ideally, you don't take it at all. But if you can't tough it out, or if there's a problem, you're going to end up doing it. The other thing that I can tell you that...
I mean, it's a fever reducer. There are some points in modern medicine where people used to die from their fever getting too high and they just die. That's why we have modern medicine. It's to keep your fevers from getting a crazy temperature to where you stroke out, because you will die of a heat stroke, essentially. That is possible.
I'll say that they will maybe say at a little bit later date, but I think when you go for the shot, you do it over a 5-time period. Take it over 5 times or 4 times, but you take it in smaller doses and you spread it out over a period of years. And they pump so much stuff into those beautiful little babies. It's a disgrace. I don't see it. I think it's very bad. They're pumping, it looks like they're pumping into a horse. You have a little fragile child, and you get a vat of 80 different...
I assume he's talking about just generic vaccines they give to children. There's a fuck ton of chemicals in there, and he's saying it could be other things, but for now we think it's Tylenol, I think.
Different vaccines, I guess. 80 different blends, and they pump it in. So ideally, a woman won't take Tylenol. And on the vaccines, it would be good instead of one visit where they pump the baby, load it up with stuff. You'll do it over a period of 4 times or 5 times.
I hope this is medically professional advice and not just Trump throwing a wild ball suggestion here.
I mean, I've been so into this issue for so many years just because I couldn't understand how how a thing like this could happen. And it's artificially.
I hope he lets
It's not like
Bobby
something
speak.
that, when you go from all of those healthy babies to a point where I don't even know structurally if a country can afford it, and that's the least of the problems. To have families destroyed over this is just so terrible. I also,
Child
and
death
we've
is
already done this. We
hard.
want no mercury in the vaccine. We want no aluminum in the vaccine.
They're finding aluminum is now having a link to dementia. It's causing dementia in people now. That's something that's currently ongoing. I'm not quite sure. I need to look up on it more, but they were saying that there's a decent chance that we're using aluminum products all over the place, and it's actually causing like brain poisoning, which is leading to people developing dementia.
The MMR, I think, should be taken separately. This is based on what I feel. The
Okay, what he thinks, not
mumps,
professional advice.
measles, and all the three should be taken separately. And it seems to be that when you mix them, there could be a problem. So there's no downside in taking them separately.
Let's let the expert speak.
In fact, they think it's better, so let it be separate. The chicken pox is already separate because when that got mixed in, I guess they made it four for a while. It really was bad. So they make chicken pox. Individually, they're...
Yeah, you also have to think about the kids who are getting all these vaccines. A vaccine's just like a very weak version of a virus, but it can still go wrong, and your body's now full of 20 different viruses and your immune system's shot to shit. That could probably get you seriously sick. I'm assuming that's where Trump's coming from here. This is me guessing.
Okay, when you mix them, something maybe happens. So there's
It's a
no
common sense idea
downside in doing it. It's not like, oh, if you do it, bad things. No, it's only good side. And it may not have that much of an impact, but it may have a big impact. So let those be taken separately. And then hepatitis B is sexually transmitted.
What is he?
There's no reason to give a baby that's almost just born hepatitis B. So
Yeah, a baby won't need that unless they're being sexually abused as a child. Yeah.
I would say wait till the baby is 12 years old and formed and take hepatitis B. And I think if you do those things, it's going to be a whole different, it's going to be a revolution in a positive sense in the country. The FDA will be updating the label of an existing drug to reflect potential benefits in reducing some autism.
So this is already going out on all Tylenol and all antiphenocinamine, whatever the fuck it's called, bottles. Is there going to put a warning now saying this looks like it could cause autism? That means there's some pretty solid science that the FDA is announcing this. Food Drug Administration.
Symptoms. This gives hope to the many parents with autistic children that it may be possible to improve their lives. That's one of the things that I'm very, very happy about. I mean, this was mostly going to be on how not to have the child affected, but we've learned some pretty good things about certain elements of genius that can be given to a baby, and the baby can get better, and in some cases maybe substantially better. Not going to be easy, but be a lot easier if it didn't happen in the first place, as these great parents fully understand, right? They fully understand. I feel so terribly for... I have so many friends with autistic children. It's a tough situation.
I'd say he's probably thinking of Elon right now.
Finally, to help reach the ultimate goal of ending the autism fever, the NIH will be announcing 13 major grant awards from the Autism Data Science Initiatives. And to be honest with you, to me, that's the least important. It's not even a money thing at this point. There's so much money, but they have to do. And they
pharmaceutical industry has the chokehold on so many senators. That's why when you have Kennedy sitting down talking in front of Congress because he's being subpoenaed, asked stupid questions, the people that are asking questions literally are all bought by big pharmacy to try to discredit Kennedy every step of the way so they can keep selling drugs, because it's more profitable to keep someone sick and sell them a cure. It's more profitable to keep someone sick and to keep curing the sickness opposed to curing the disease. That's why doctors are dog shit for the most part. That's why you have medical facilities to where That's why a lot of people, when they get sick, they don't really get better. There's a lot of anecdotal evidence to talk about how what you eat, what you work out, that stuff matters with an individual. You start going on one pill, it leads to a cascade effect because you never actually fix the issue in your life that caused you to start taking that pill. So then eventually later down the line, the pill side effects start affecting you. Now you take another pill, and then another pill, and then another pill, and then you're dead. It is a cascading effect if you do not pay attention to your health.
Have to move quickly. When the alternative is that nothing bad can happen, let's do it now. I was just saying to Bobby and the group, let's do it now.
Yes.
Nothing bad can happen. It can only good happen. But with Tylenol, don't take it. Don't take it. And if you can't live, if your fever is so bad, you have to take one because there's no alternative to that. Sadly, first question, what can you take instead? It's actually, there's not an alternative to that. And
yeah, there's not an alternative. Ibuprofen and Advil don't work. Tylenol is the third option. It's normally a mix between those three for fever reducer and pain relief. If you can't take any of them when you're sick during your pregnancy, that's going to be rough. But you also, if the data that they have is saying this is causing autism, then you got to weigh that against the future of your child.
You know, other of the medicines are absolutely proven bad. I mean, they've been proven bad.
Yeah.
The aspirins and the Advils and others, right? And they've been proven bad.
Yeah.
So I'd like to ask Bobby to get up to the podium and say a few words, and then Dr.
His voice is shot, so.
Dr. McCary, Dr. Oz, Dr. Fink, followed by two incredible mothers that have experienced first.
I'm going to listen to RFK, and then I'm going to cut it.
He's going through what parts of the world are going through. And I will say there are parts of the world that don't take Tylenol. I mean, there's a rumor, and I don't know if it's so or not, that Cuba, they don't have Tylenol because they don't have the money for Tylenol.
Fucking Cuba, they're a socialist shithole. I doubt they have the money for anything. Socialist, communist, one of those.
Virtually no autism, okay? Tell me about that one. And there are other parts of the world where they don't have Tylenol, where they don't have autism. That tells you a lot. And I want to say it right now. And, you know, the way I look at it,
I'm sorry, but Trump needs to let Kennedy step up because he is not a medical expert here, and this is some serious shit that people need to be informed on. So Trump just randomly throwing some shit out there right now is not helpful.
Don't take it. Don't take it. There's no downside in not taking it.
He's off the teleprompter.
So I'd like to ask Bobby to come up and say a few words. I hope I didn't ruin his day, but that's the way I feel. I've been very strong on the subject for a long time. You know, life is common sense, too. And there's a lot of common sense in this. And I wish things like this were brought up. And this group has worked so hard on it. But I'd like to be a little bit more, a little speedier in the process of a recommendation because there's no harm in going quicker. There's absolutely no harm. At worst, there's no harm. Thank you very much. Bobby, please.
Thank you, Mr. President.
I liked Bobby Kennedy because he was a Democrat that flopped sides because he realized the modern party of Democrats is fucking a joke. They were throwing common sense out the window, and he wants to help kids. That is his end goal. That is why he became a Republican. He swapped to the party of Republicans. He ran as a Democrat primary. He wanted to go against Trump and overshot Biden on the presidential candidacy for Democrats. That's what he wanted. He cares about the kids. Whether or not you like him, he cares about the kids.
To meet the president's challenge, I ordered HHS to launch an unprecedented all-agency effort to identify all causes of autism, including toxic and pharmaceutical exposures. At President Trump's urging, NIH, FDA, CDC, and CMS are turning over every stone to identify the etiology of the autism epidemic and how patients and parents can prevent and reverse this alarming trend.
You can't reverse autism as far as I understand.
We have broken down the traditional silos that have long separated these agencies, and we have fast-tracked research and guidance.
Good. They're bringing the agencies and all the data streams together so they can have someone who actually can analyze the full picture opposed to partially getting parts of the picture.
Historically, NIH has focused almost solely on politically safe and entirely fruitless research about the genetic drivers of autism. And that would be like...
So they just would continually be looking at genetics to see if they could find a trend, and he's saying it was fucking useless.
Studying the genetic drivers of lung cancer without looking at cigarettes. And that's what NIH has been doing for 20 years. As a result, we don't have an answer to this critical question. Despite the cataclysmic impact of the epidemic on our nation's children, we are now replacing the institutional culture of politicized science and corruption with evidence-based medicine.
Which is how it should be. But you had COVID come along where all the experts are lying through their teeth about the effectiveness of a vaccine repeatedly, and when you called them out, you got banned on social media. Shit was fucking crazy. Made me realize the experts don't know jack shit. Their appeal to authority or their appeal to expertise meant fuck all when they're getting money and they're openly admitting it. Oh yeah, just keep taking the vaccine. Yeah, it'll eventually work. It's your booster, your third, your fourth, your fifth, your sixth, your eighth booster. Come on, guys, it'll work. Oh, there's young people that are dying from heart damage. Well, that's just a coincidence, you know. Young deaths among young deaths of sudden death syndrome's on a rise. That's just normal, people. Opposed to looking at the facts of the situation that this thing was causing, the COVID vaccine was causing some serious medical effects, but was advertised with no side effects. It was a complete fucking lie.
NIH research teams are currently testing multiple hypotheses with no area off limits. We promise transparency as we uncover the potential causes and treatments, and we will notify the public regularly of our progress.
Good. This needs to be done in 3 years. This needs to be done before Trump leaves office, because whoever's coming up next, if they decide to change any of these people around and they're not politically compromised, that's going to be some serious fucking issues for everyone, because now you have new people that are trying to jump in on a half-finished project. The data is going to get harder to understand. They have to retrain themselves, especially if you've had the same individual working at this shit for 4 years already. Kennedy needs to get this done.
Today, we are announcing 2 important findings from our autism work that are vital for parents to know as they make these decisions. First, HHS will act on acetaminophen. The FDA is responding to clinical and laboratory studies that suggest a potential association between acetaminophen use during pregnancy and adverse neurodevelopmental outcomes, including later diagnosis for ADHD and autism. Scientists have proposed biological mechanisms linking prenatal acetaminophen exposure to altered brain development.
So it's altering brain development and causing autism and ADHD.
We have also evaluated the contrary studies that show no association. Today, the FDA will issue a physician's notice about the risk of acetaminophen during pregnancy and begin the process to initiate a safety label change. HHS will launch a nationwide public service.
They are making this change right now, meaning they have enough data to show that this is a plausible answer.
Service campaign to inform families and protect public health. FDA also recognized that acetaminophen is often the only tool for fevers and pain in pregnancy, as other alternatives have well-documented adverse effects. HHS wants, therefore, to encourage clinicians to exercise their best judgment in the use of acetaminophen for fevers and pain in pregnancy by prescribing the lowest effective dose for the shortest necessary duration and only when treatment is required. Furthermore, thanks to the politicization of science, the safety of acetaminophen against the risk of neurodevelopmental disorders in young children has never been validated.
Oh, they've never checked to see even after you're born if it's causing brain issues. That's fucking crazy, bro. Pharmaceutical companies need to be reined in, brought up on human rights violations, and you need to see people going to jail. I don't want to see class action lawsuits. I want to see these fuckers in jail for life. What the fuck?
Medicine, therefore, suggests caution in acetaminophen use by young children, especially since strong evidence also has associated it with liver toxicity. Some studies have also found the use of acetaminophen in children can potentially prolong viral illnesses. FDA will drive new research to...
It can make you sick for longer? That's fucking crazy.
...safeguard mothers, children, and families. In addition to a possible acetaminophen connection to autism for pregnant women, infants, and toddlers, our research has revealed that folate deficiency in a child's brain can lead to autism. We have also identified an exciting therapy that may benefit large numbers of children who suffer from autism. Peer-reviewed literature has documented that up to 60% of folate-deficient children with ASD can have improved verbal communications if given leucovorin.
There's a drug that can literally improve your autism for children? That's fucking crazy.
Instructed at NIH, FDA, and CMS to help doctors treat children appropriately. Jay will help tell that story, which started with sound science, the kind that restores faith in government.
Why the fuck? What the fuck is going on with the drugs in America? Like, I'm a firm believer to really not take anything unless I'm fucking dying. Even when I have, like, prescription medicines for, like, painkillers or shit like that, I rarely will take them, and I have them till the end of time because I do not fully use them because I'm trying to rely on my body because I don't trust the drug industry. I don't. They make money off you being sick. Yes, it's beneficial to have someone get healthy, but it's also beneficial to not immediately try to turn to drugs for every problem in your life. There's normally underlying causes for damn near everything.
This announcement also represents a historic collaboration between NIH, FDA, CDC, and CMS. We expect this to be the first of many announcements over the coming years that deliver actionable information to parents on underlying cause of autism and the potential paths for prevention and reversal.
Holy shit.
Finally, autism is a complex disorder with
They can fix Elon Musk.
multifactorial etiology.
He has Asperger's, I believe, not autism.
We are continuing to investigate a multiplicity of potential causes with no areas of taboo. One area that we are closely examining, as the president mentioned, is vaccines. Some 40 to 70% of mothers who have children with autism believe that their child was injured by a vaccine.
40 to 70% of mothers think it's the vaccines causing the injury. Holy shit.
President Trump believes that we should be listening to these mothers instead.
No one trusts the pharmaceutical industry. That's how it should be. That's how it fucking should be. Don't give them immunity behind big companies. Start holding these people fucking liable.
Of gaslighting and marginalizing them like prior administrations. Some of our friends like to say that we should believe all women. Some of these same people have been silencing and demonizing these mothers for 3 decades.
So the left says believe all women, but when the women say we think vaccines are causing it, they're saying silence sweaty.
Because research on the potential link between autism and vaccines has been actively suppressed in the past.
Yep.
It will take time for an honest look at this topic by scientists. But I want to reassure the people in the autism community that we will be uncompromising and relentless in our search for answers. We will perform the studies that should have been performed 25 years ago. Whatever the answer is, we will tell you what we find. We are researching this issue to all 3 agencies. Jay will discuss one of our research initiatives at NIH. This model of unleashing unbiased, depoliticized, gold standard scientific research and academic freedom to deliver actionable.
A while ago, RFK went through the entire CDC and a bunch of these different agencies that he could and basically was making them talk about all their conflicts of interest, where they went to college, any boards they served on, any ethic boards, any money they've received from these companies, any companies they worked for, just to make sure he had people that were completely unbiased, completely politically neutral. They're not right. They're not left. They're here for the good of the youth. And that's how it should fucking be. You have so many bureaucracies that are completely politically captured. That's why you had the USA lay off like 90% of their workforce, because they were all a bunch of leftist Democrats that were coming in and ignoring Trump's presidential fucking orders off day one until Elon with the Doge team came in and fucking axed the entire place. Because a bunch of leftists who were ignoring all the political executive orders and doing whatever the fuck they felt like they should. Ignoring the president. They work for the fucking president. What the fuck is going on? This should all be politically unbiased, but the bureaucracy has been infected by these retards.
Information to prevent and reverse disease will be a model for the framework to deliver similar results from many other chronic conditions that plague Americans. Jay?
Yeah, you know the most chronic condition? Fucking heart disease. I don't even know if that's a chronic condition, to be honest, but I know that's what most people die from is heart disease. And why do they die from it? Because all of our food's fried and it's full of fucking sugar. People don't fucking work out. There are very obvious signs that you are unhealthy and you're going to die. Yeah, some of it can be genetic of you just being big boned. Some of it can also be because you eat fucking wings every night for dinner. You have so much bad food in America that's readily available that people just don't understand a goddamn thing about nutrition that they're putting in their body. I used to be one. That's the reason I know it. The past few years, I've done way better at cooking my own foods and taking certain ingredients out of my diet. I've cut back on my sugar like 99%. I'm a fucking sugar addict. I'm not afraid to admit it. I now drink my coffee black. I used to pull a gallon of sugar in that shit to be even tasted. Now I can drink my coffee black because I realized sugar was causing me massive migraines and making me extremely sluggish. There are so many things that our body is affected by, but we just always either ignore it or write it off as some other factor, not realizing our diet is probably the number one cause and our exercise is probably the number one cause. It's not the same for all people, though. Yes, there are some underlying diseases that are going to require medical treatment or medical prevention that isn't just, oh, change your diet, sweetie. But there's a lot of people that probably could fix their life if they change their fucking diet. Is Kennedy done? All right, I'm calling it there. I don't want to watch the rest of this. You have like 6 other people going up there. I just wanted to see Trump and Kennedy speak on this. There's a bunch of other experts in the room. Trump did what I expected, where he kind of just, oh, it could be anything. And then I was like, I need medical experts to actually say this. And Kennedy, I trust. Like I said before, he ran as a Democrat. He wanted to be the Democratic nomination for president. His entire campaign was off child's health. That is what he ran on. I was so excited when Trump made the announcement that he was bringing him into the fold on his campaign because I was like, holy shit, Trump seems like the winning candidate now because he actually has a reasonable lineup with some of these people. You have Kennedy, who's cared about kids his entire life and done his career and everything around it to try to fix the epidemic of the diabetes, the obesity, the heart disease, all that. He's done his best that he possibly can. And now he's in a position to do all that he can. And he's in control to force them to work toward the goal of fixing this for our youth. And I am on board with him every step of the way. I want to see these studies, though. And I'm going to try to pull up the Twitter data I was talking about earlier, the 1-to-1 correlation, though. So for some background, this actually got like leaked on Friday. Not really leaked, but apparently all the results were published on Friday. It's just no one mentioned anything about it. And then when Trump straight up mentioned it during the Charlie Kirk thing, a lot of people started looking into it and like, oh shit, the CDC's already made the announcement. What the fuck? All right, I couldn't find the same one from earlier, so maybe it was a fake thing I saw of the 1-to-1 correlation, but it does respond with what RFK just said, where the amount of dosage you take greatly affects the child's chance of autism, and it looks like now they have drugs you can take as a youth to redevelop your neurological paths. I don't understand quite what he was talking about, the damage it causes to the brain that causes autism, but it sounds like there might be something that could help some kids. He said 60% improved, so that's seems reasonable to help. There are different gradients of autism, and I need people to understand this. It is a spectrum. There's the people that are pretty good, that may have a little bit of awkwardness, they're a little socially weird, and then there's people that are nonverbal that'll never be able to live without any help in their life. It is not the same, and people are completely disingenuous about this. Kennedy is doing this to try to help everyone overall, and I saw the argument like, he's making fun of autism, I have autism, and I'm perfectly fine. He's not fucking talking about you. He's talking about the individuals that will never be able to live on their own because their autism is so bad that they can't speak and they can't eat and they can't cook food. Like, it is extreme in some cases. And that is what he's trying to do. He's trying to make America healthy again. And I'm fully on standpoint for that. Let me know what you guys think about this below. It's a bad day to be a Tylenol stockholder, though. Not financial advice, but holy shit. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys believe Tylenol caused your autism? Me personally, I just think I'm retarded, not autistic. That's just my personal beliefs. If you liked the video, feel free to like it, comment down below, or subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Until then, later.